Hello everyone, just Goran here and welcome back to the Season 1 tour of Safaripark Beekse Bergen, still joined by the actual zoo designer, Merkx.
Oh, still, for days already!
Let's pause the game again so that we actually can move around without it being a slideshow. And yeah, last episode we got all the way past the, well, I've always called it the second primate house, but apparently it's the first. And today we are going to be walking all the way probably up to Congo Square. That should be easy actually. Probably take the edge of Africa as well.
Actually, this is like the shortcut to Congo. When we walk from the front to the park to the back, we always walk along the tigers because that's our shortcut.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we go past the Zebu, which is also a mod. I forget who made it, but I'll always put that on the screen.
Wow, somebody mod Zebu.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice, but I'm very glad.
Choice, yeah.
I mean, there's literally hundreds of mods out there. Not all of them are updated to the current version of the game yet, but yeah, people are going absolutely nuts, adding all sorts of...
Are those zookeepers?
These are actually kind of people who are cleaning the trash that people throw on the ground.
Oh, the maintenance.
The maintenance people.
Maintenance. Netjes hoor.
So yeah, here we have the tiger habitat. So
Mm-hmm.
what I found out relatively recently, so yeah, the willow is still here because it was before the closure, so I wanted to keep it for while we could.
Yeah, I also wanted to keep it, but unfortunately we had to say goodbye to the willow.
Was it in danger of falling over, or?
Yeah. It actually was. It was just.
Ever so slightly
going, and just before it was falling too far, we decided to cut it down. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if it would have fallen on the fence. That could have been created all sorts of nasty situations, I can imagine. So yeah, we can actually see a little bit of the. Oh, hey, look, it's Chuck. Who doesn't work at the zoo anymore, but...
Oh, Chuck! Oh, Chuck kan erop, jongens.
He doesn't work at the zoo anymore, I think, but...
No, he's gepensioneerd.
Yeah, he's retired.
Retired!
Yeah. But I wanted to pay tribute to him, because he, of course, is a huge part of the history of the zoo. So I think I spent the whole day to try and find an employee that looked like him. So and yeah, so here's the rest of the tigers. So these two habitats are actually connected, right? Through a little gate over there.
Actually, all three of them are connected. Right. But these two outdoor areas are connected directly, so that we can make one big habitat of it if we want to. But the guidelines for tigers, because tigers are solitary animals, they describe that you must have at least two different exhibits to make sure you can, if you have to, you can separate them.
Yeah, and
the third one is for, we built a third one because when you have offspring, and for example, you got 3 cubs, and the father and the mother don't accelerate that well when they don't have cubs, then you have one exhibit for the male, one exhibit for the female, and when you have offspring and those 3 cubs, they are, for example, 2 males and 1 female, then the female will be easy to replace, the 2 males will be harder, and when one of the males can't be replaced, you have to make sure that you also have a place for that animal. Yeah. So that's why there's 3 exhibits for tigers.
Yeah, it's kind of a similar situation you mentioned with the black rhino stall that I made. Like, you need to have those separation areas.
The Indian rhino.
Or the Indian rhino. So yeah, sorry. Yeah. Like, you need to have the separation area for if you can't get rid of the animal in time. Yeah. And I do have to say I love the viewing area from over here with the planks going.
Yeah, actually. This is in the last episode we discussed landscape immersion. So merge different landscapes into each other to the visitor, so you have the feeling you're into the landscape. And this trick, it's actually very much used by Erik van Vliet as well. It's called a reversed landscape immersion. So you won't bring the landscape of the animals towards your visitors, but you will bring the surroundings of your visitors to the animals. So in this case, the path, the wood the visitors stand on is going through the glass into the tiger exhibit. Personally, I hate it. But when it's done well, it could be very good. Erik also used it a lot in Dierenpark Amersfoort, and there, for example, the city of Ol, the Stad der Oudheid, that's a very well done area. There it really works out with the tigers and the camels, and that's really good. And for example, in Dierenrijk we also have a lot of these tricks. And this one I actually didn't like, but I was here, I think 3 weeks ago, and I have to admit that now that the plants are doing so well, it's actually very nice. And there was a tiger standing on top of it, and it works.
Yeah.
So
the tiger. I have several occasions when the tiger was just walking back and forth past this window.
Yeah.
And it's just so impressive because you really get to see like, oh, this tiger is so big. When they're really standing on the same flooring as you really get that impression.
Yeah, that's really impressive. So I have to take back my thoughts sometimes. Last year I did tell several people that I don't like reverse landscape immersion, but when it's used very well, I have to admit it works very well.
So here we have the old crocodile signs that had a little bit more theming to them. Right now it's just a green banner.
Actually, I didn't know they were replaced.
Oh yeah, no, it's just a green banner with Nelpaarden Crocodile on it.
Wow, why?
I don't know.
That's a shame.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got. I'm missing the leg, but we've got at least the skull and the eggs of the crocodile here, and all of the kind of rock work and stuff like that going around.
Yeah, this is one thing I really don't understand. We have this. This is like for Beekse Bergen. This was a major project, right? We built this back in 2014, and this was the first time we used artificial rocks and artificial mud walls. But then this rock it's extraordinary. This rock you walk underneath. Yeah. I think it's great. But then someone decided to put a lead spot into the rock. So
this one.
Actually recreated this. Why is there a lamp? Why? Oh wow.
Yeah, and this has to be a much smaller TV, but it's a bit outdated.
Oh, you really recreated it very, very well.
Yeah, and you got all the little logs for the birds that I noticed the other day were there.
Yeah, true. For the speckled mouse birds.
Yep, all the little ventilation things, climate control. And speaking of jank, one of my favorites.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning this.
I love it.
You love it. Oh. At least
I love it as a as a Planet Zoo player. I love the jank of it, but for like zoo design, of course, it's probably very painful.
Yeah, actually, I think this is a really it's a beautiful thing for Libema zoos, and I think it's a beautiful indoor experience for zoos in general. But I always like to discuss the is it safari? Is it big enough to be in a safari park? And that's something I'm not sure yet. Because, for example, also in this indoor area, you can climb on top of a viewing point.
Yeah, where we are right now.
As well, you have a top-down view on the animals, which is especially for hippopotamuses. It's a shame. It's such an impressive animal, and then being up 3 meters in the sky and looking down on it. Yeah. I don't know if that's meerwaarde.
Yeah, if there's value in that.
Or if there's value in that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we could actually, because this is actually one of the videos of you and Stein that I got a lot of help from, showing off the backstage.
This is sick.
Yeah,
Actually,
there was a lot of footage of this area, so I was actually able to recreate it pretty faithfully, I think. With all the holding areas, the little bath over here.
Yeah, you did.
And speaking of the Indian rhino video, you mentioned the water filtration. It took me a while to figure out where it was, but it's right over here, right? Behind here is the I put a house in there so that the game actually has places.
It's actually it's almost, but it's not really. It's behind this door you made. There is a storage for food. And next to that, there is a room for the installation, but you can only enter it from the outside.
All right, so that's
the door in the right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and this, of course, all goes to the roof. Apparently, we are all the way up.
Wow!
Here.
I didn't know that.
I don't know how that happened, but yeah. And then over here is a little door as well that gets you through the gates.
Actually, there's the separations for the birds.
Oh, okay.
That's behind that rock.
Cool. All right. And then out here we get to the outside area. We get a view of the Congo Square.
Wow, we have a swimming Nyala.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, no null lashways yet. So I use Nyalas because they look sort of similar. But I don't know why they want to swim all the time. It's not... It's very interesting.
I like them swimming.
Because even if it was a Nyala, they probably wouldn't do that. Like a Sitatunga, maybe? I think. But...
I think so too. Maybe a Sitatunga would do it a little faster. But to be honest, I never saw a Sitatunga swimming. Yeah. And at first, in my first season of being ranger, I was only able to do tours on the safari boat, and the Sitatungas were still along the track of the safari boat, because I didn't have my driver's license, so I couldn't drive a bus, so I had to be on the boat. And then I saw the Sitatungas a lot of times. I nearly saw them every day, but there was just sometimes one into the water. Especially when it was hot, of course, they were cooling down in the water, but I never saw one swimming actually. So I think a Nyala would be less, even less. Yeah.
Okay, let's quickly. It doesn't let me. Didn't let me in.
We're up on a lot of roofs. Yeah, even I've been never on this roof. Wow.
Let's see. Let's just stay in this sort of view from now. Yeah, I didn't have reference photos of the old signs of these, so I've kept them blank.
Actually, I like it so this way. Nice, you did a good job.
Yeah, you got the little water feature over here.
Yeah. It's a nice remake of our aviary.
Yeah.
I think this is maybe my favorite aviary at the moment in our park.
Yeah, it's
a shame I don't visit it that often, but it's.
I just wonder why this viewing area is still closed. It's been closed for a very long time.
No, actually, because it has been used as a breeding place for some of the birds.
Okay.
So that's why we sometimes have to close it down for visitors because there's birds breeding there.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense then. Yeah. All right, so let's actually get to the Congo Square. And let me just enter the first person again. So we have the black box, the females at least, which is also a mod. So So yeah, and there's also some goose walking around because they're everywhere.
It's like bizarre that some species I didn't expect to be remade are remade, and some species I would expect to be remade aren't still.
Yeah, it's I mean, everyone has their own favorite animals and things they need for their projects.
Yeah,
So
maybe a water buck or a black buck is easier to remake than, for example, a baboon.
yeah,
could
I think
imagine that.
primates are definitely very difficult because they have a lot more intricacies, and I think the biggest problem for baboons is that we actually don't have any primate or monkey in the game that has a tail. So and the way that mods are made is they grab one animal and they basically turn it into another animal.
Yeah.
So because there is no monkey with a tail in the game, it's hard to make a baboon out of the others because it's gonna have a very stiff tail or something like that. So let's walk past the area for now because we're gonna get to something that you've also worked on. I'm pretty sure, right? The sea lion habitat.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad the fence you see in the right is finally gone. In real life, it's actually you can get back to the viewing point.
Yeah.
Again.
This viewing point.
Yeah. It was for a time. It was there was a fence around it so that visitors couldn't get that because the sea lions were getting a little stressed out by all the people standing there when they were feeding. But for now, it's good. So luckily. The sea lions are good, and as well the visitors can enter the viewing point again.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, and of course it has to be mentioned, one of the best things about the habitat is that the gate can be opened and the sea lions can use the entire waterways.
Yeah, they can enter the biggest sea lion exhibit in the world.
That is just...
I have been told.
Only downside for the game at least is that we don't actually have sea lions. So I have these very beautiful seal lions because we only have gray seals for the time being. But yeah, maybe
seal lions.
Maybe in the future. I do have. I couldn't open the gate. Like they can't swim through it. It's too small for them because the game calculates it a bit weirdly. But I did put a couple of seals in the big waterways as well. So if you're lucky, you can spot one of those. I've been lucky enough that one time I was on the safari boat. The sea lion started to jump around the boat and do all sorts of stuff like that, which was just a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The Edge of Africa.
The Edge of Africa. One of the most recent thing I did is the final habitat I added to the zoo. And one thing I'm really happy with is that the lemurs are actually climbing around all the trees and stuff. That is definitely something that I'm very happy that they're actually doing, because it would be very boring if they didn't.
Yeah.
But apparently they're also jumping into the water and getting boxed up. Yeah, this is one of our latest improvements in real life as well. We did it in 2018. So we were building the safari resort, and we were building the entrance area, and we were building the Edge of Africa at the same time. So then my time was so little that I didn't work on this project. It was all designed by Erik van Vliet. And while I was focusing basically on the entrance and some of the additions to the safari resort. I love all the views.
Nice. Yeah, these views are great.
Oh.
The only thing I did in the Edge of Africa was this hut. See right here.
Let me get the lighting right, because... wait. No, wait. I love it when the sun is... Oh, where is it? There we go. The ranger station.
Such an eye of detail. I love it when the sun is this
I was actually wondering about this. What are all these cages? What's the story behind those exactly?
Well, when we opened the Edge of Africa, there was only this shack you see in the top of the building, and there was this poster of different kinds of lemurs, and there was this shelf on the left which has some cans and things, and there's also 2 bags laying on it. And the fun thing is, this shelf is like a very thick.
Thick, yeah, it's just
Thick. It's a thick shelf, and at the the two ends of the shelf, they can be opened, and there can be food provided to the animals. Then there will be RVS bowls with food. You can put them into the shelf, and they will be under the bags which lay on the shelf. So it's like the lemurs are eating of the food of the one who's living here.
That is so cool.
That's a little inside joke, but they also shit in it. So I don't know if the zookeepers still use it. And there was this little tiny desk left with this diary on it and some notes painted on the wall. And actually, the true story was that there is someone who's researching lemurs, which has notes everywhere, and some assignments and some notes and drawings all around. But later on, I think last year, there was also this like bike, and these cages were also put down there. Actually, I think it's to imagine more of the problems of the lemurs being pet animals. So they are in the wild. They are hunted and they are brought to markets and they are sold as pets. And that's a major treat for most of the lemurs. And I think that's the story that has to be told more. But I don't know if this is the right way. Actually, an interner of the education department did this.
Yeah, because I was wondering if it was supposed to represent like poachers, like this is what poachers use to capture them, or is this what the rangers use to save them from the poacher, or what they're taking away from the poachers that they capture? That was always a little vague, but. Yeah.
That's a real good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so then we go around, we get to the bird of prey area where you can take a nice picture with the eagle.
The American eagle.
And got a little little view of
What's that? What's that?
This is the
Why is this wall like that? It's not finished? Is it like this in real life as well?
I'm pretty sure. Wait, let me actually.
Oh, this is a late picture.
Yes, I think it is. This was taken a year ago. 2020.
Oh gosh. I think I'm going to bike there after our meeting.
Just to see if it's still there. I think it is.
Well, it's like maybe it's like an African wall as well. So I think when
you
go to Madagascar,
it's not actual brick, or like it's not as red as this. It's a bit more subtle. So,
yeah, it's a little more so. Okay.
And we've got the vultures, which
the wooden vulture
desperately need our help. And
this is really nice viewing, don't you think?
Yeah, I love it.
I loved it ever since I was a kid.
The purple flowers and
it's great. I love this viewing. Definitely one of my favorite viewings in the park.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And this also, yesterday I sat at the Bird of Prey show, the last show. So that was at like 6:30, I think. And just the sun was shining in, and it was just absolutely beautiful. Yeah. And then we have the penguin area. I have to quickly get the waterfall, the waterfall running. So yeah.
Actually, this is the oldest part of the walking trail, but I think this is one of the most natural waterfalls in zoo. What I like is that the backdrop of this exhibit is like a raised landscape, and the waterfall is just adjusted to this landscape in the back. So sometimes in zoos, when people want to have a waterfall, they just put on a lot of rocks to there's a pile of rocks, and then from the top of that is water falling down. But it looks
so unnatural because actually a waterfall is nothing more than a river on another level, which suddenly crosses a point where the level drops
significantly.
and so the water has to drop with it. So when you put on a waterfall, you always have to make sure that the rest of the backdrop is at the same level of your waterfall to make it look realistic.
Yeah.
And this I think is built in 1972, so it's very, very old. But I still love this waterfall. It's so natural. I think it's one of the most natural waterfalls in our zoo.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I love just all the rocks and things that turn out pretty well.
Yeah, it's very well done back in 19.
And you can see a little bit where the keepers come in.
Yeah, that's because we had to have a separation for the chicks. So
the other one
have,
is. Let's quickly walk.
Yeah, actually, I think this one isn't there anymore.
It's not? Oh.
I don't think so. Or maybe it is still, but
it's not really
used
being
as
used,
much.
right?
No, because it's so far away. The one you see in the back of this one, it actually it is connected to the back of the house of the birds of prey. So the zookeepers of the birds of prey can now easily get to the penguins if they want to.
Yeah.
I thought that's the reason that there has been a new separation.
Yeah, and then we've got all the little things that are threatening the penguins. So we've got the boat, the fisher boat, the oil barrels.
Yeah, nice.
And the private beach. So, yeah.
The private beach.
Little look into the...
Here, also you see the bricks.
Oh, yeah.
I know that from real life. That's one of the things I thought, oh, why didn't we put some rocks on it? But again, it was such a busy year, and this would need a final touch.
Yeah.
I love actually the red ruffed lemurs being in here as well.
Yeah, it's a very nice addition.
It's one of my favorite species.
Oh. Looks like there's one of them got boxed up over there. Let me just release him. Yeah, I love that the game does that very well. That they're actually climbing around and just like they would in real life. They're very active here. So yeah.
And there's also a red ruffed lemur.
Yes, I put them in.
Hell yeah!
I couldn't wait. So yeah, they're in here as well. So yeah, I think it's about time that we wrap up. I'm not sure if you have to go.
Well, actually, I have, because I have to go to the edge of Africa and see how the bricks are doing.
So yeah, we will continue this on another day. Well, maybe Stein can join us as well in the future.
Yeah, I asked him. Actually, I told it already in the Indian Rhino stables video, which you can click in the top. That Stein loves to play Planet Zoo, and he sometimes he sends some screenshots from your episodes. He just watches through them in short clicks. Yeah, we really like that you remade our zoo, and of course, because of Safari Report, we saw a lot of the zoo, and it's extraordinary how much effort and detail you put it in your remake. It's incredible.
Yeah. So maybe he'll be able to join us next time, but we'll see if we can arrange that.
I really would like you, actually, Jurien, when you did season 2 and you made it all the way like it is at the moment. Then actually you should make a season 3 wherein you would make it the way you want it to be.
Yeah, that would be...
So for example, the thing I would redo immediately is the furniture of this terrace. Oh, it's such a lot of picnic tables, and it's boring. It's so straight and so yeah. Yeah,
that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It would also be a little daunting.
Huh?
A little daunting, spannend, yeah. just to see like, okay, no, I don't like this. Let me.
Like it. Actually, wait. This in the center of the center of
Oh, yeah, there
of the street. Yeah, this. What? Why did you remake this? Julian?
Sorry.
That's something I would put rocks around immediately. Actually, I think when we opened this area, there were rocks around it, but in the sign of times, the rocks just disappeared underwater. and now you see this concrete element. That's a shame.
Yeah.
There's a lot to improve, Jurjen. Luckily enough for me, because that's why I work here.
Yeah. Always more to do.
Nice.
All right.
Like
So.
it, hey, I also hear the park music again.
Oh yeah. Over here, I've got a loop, a little different loop. There's both the park music and I've got some other like royalty-free African stock music playing here. Because in this area usually there's a couple of different songs playing, and it's always very loud. Is one thing.
Yeah, that's true. And right now we have this event, the Summer event, and now it's like a techno house, African vibes, remix all the time. It's like you're in a festival. So maybe when next week when the summer is over, then we can put it back to the park music and we just adjust the level a little
bit,
back to a normal stage.
Because you can hear the techno house stuff. You can hear it when you're at the Tigers already. Like
I know. You'll get in the house mood all of the day.
Yeah. So yeah, in the next episode we'll continue on from Congo back along to the other side, and I hope to see you again then.
Wow, yeah.
So, yeah. I
hope I'll have time for that.
Yeah, we'll.
I think we have to do. What do you think? 2 episodes more?
2, maybe 3, depending on. I think we can always split it up.
No, I'm looking forward, and I will ask Stijn to interrupt us.
Yes. All right. Hey, thank you so much, and yeah, see you next time.
You're welcome. See you next time.